Hey, beautiful people. It is you gotta say see in the place to be. Come vibe with me. Let's vibe away. So, what we talking about today is that time when I was a horrible, messy ass bitch of a friend. That's what we gonna talk about. When I was messy, some people would call it two-faced. I say I had 8 faces, child. I don't know what I had going on. It was a lot, child. I ain't gonna say I had 8 faces. But I was kind of, it wasn't two-faced as much as it was, I was just messy. I'm gonna be real with you. I was just messy as fuck. Like, yeah. So this story starts back in the day. I had met this man. It always starts with a man, don't it? I met this man. We went on a date. For the sake of this video and future videos where he will be talked about in it, his name is Davy Jones. I met David Jones. We gonna call him DJ for short. Went on a date, and at the end of that date, I don't know how. I can't really get into how we became exclusive, but we did. By the end of the day, we were exclusively boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever. So because of that, I got introduced to two women, and the name that I'm going to give each woman is Fruit. Fruit is the DJ's younger brother's wife, and we're going to call his younger brother Peter Guns. If you've ever watched it, not Atlanta, excuse me, it is Love and Hip Hop New York. If you've ever watched Love and Hip Hop New York and the Peter Guns, you know Peter Guns, that's what the fuck this was. Okay? So you had Fruit, who was the wife. Wife. Yes, I said it. Was Peter Guns' wife. Then you have Bubbles, who was Peter Guns' side chick. Now, by the end of this story, I'm going to go ahead and tell you that it ends with Fruit moving the fuck on, getting married, and starting a beautiful family, being the author that she always desired to be, becoming a model as well for plus size women. She's doing great. And Peter Guns and Bubbles end up together, married, moved out of state with other kids. So that's just go ahead and giving you how it ended. Okay, go ahead and give you the end before we get to the beginning. All right, but yes, so Peter Guns was DJ's younger brother. Peter Guns was married to Fruit, okay, and his side chick was Bubbles. I met Fruit first. And DJ gave me a heads up, like, you're not going to like her, all this, that, and the thus. However, when I met her, energy don't lie. I love that girl. I love her down. I was like, oh, she's my tea. She's my cup of tea. That's my vibe. That's my girl. Then I met Bubbles, and a part of me was like, I'm not gonna like her because she's a side chick. But I gave her a chance because DJ was like, y'all gonna have a lot in common. I gave her a chance. And we did have things in common or whatnot. Not as much as me and Fruit, but we did have things in common. So I was like, and at the time, I had no friends other than the ones that I went to school with that were in another town because I had moved. You know what I'm saying? Moved here from a whole other town. So I was like, no female friends whatsoever at the time that I actually could kick it with. So, hence why I cling to Fruit and Bubbles as well. So, you can already see where the messiness comes in, but if you can't see, I'm going to go ahead and break it down. What had happened was Fruit was going through a divorce with Peter Guns, whatever. And while they were going through the divorce or whatever the case might be, of course, fucking was happening. He was fucking both of them. He was fucking both of them, talking shit about the other one to the other one, or this, that, and the thus. And of course, because I was friends with both of them, one would come to me, Bubbles would tell me, hey, well, he said this about Fruit. And I'd be like, well, Fruit said that he said this about you and your pussy. So I don't really understand why he coming at her when he was coming at you, da 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 da. And then I'd be like, but don't worry about it. I'll go to Fruit. Hey, Fruit. He said to Bubbles, and Fruit would be like, what? Oh no, let me call, because Fruit was like, and she still is, up for the confrontation. Like, hey, you said some shit about me, let's get on the phone, let's talk about it. Let me come meet you up. Let's link up. You know what I'm saying? So she would get on the phone, she'd text, hey, whatever. Meanwhile, Bubbles was the type of person, she would ask other people what she should do or whatever before she would do anything. And then it didn't matter what anyone would say because she would end up doing what she wanted to do in the first place. So I never understood that whole concept or whatever. But either way it went, I was the messy bestie in the middle of it. Like, hey, she said this, spill that tea. Oh, she said this, spill that tea. He said this, spill it to both of them. You know what I'm saying? Because don't listen. There were very few times where Peter Guns would say something in my presence while I was with DJ or whatever the case may be against any of them. He wouldn't. He would. I think he knew, hey, she messy as fuck, and I ain't got that shit to do, because I ain't got that shit to do. So he never directly said anything about anybody other than his ex-wife. He would say something about Fruit, but that was the second time they got married. Yes, they got divorced and got remarried. You know what I'm saying? And they got divorced again. Yes, that's what the fuck happened. And I was in the middle of all, right there, just being messy. Instead of just sipping my tea and paying attention and observing the actual reality that was happening in my real life, you know what I'm saying? I was being messy and like I said, going back and forth, carrying the bone, honey, carrying the bone. And then eventually, as shit happens, it all had to come to an end because, you know, damn, how did it come to an end? Because it was years. Like, this was years. This went on for at least 4 to 5 years of the back and forth, Peter Guns not knowing who he wanted to be with, whatever. Because I remember when it started, we were watching Love and Hip Hop New York, and then they had moved to Atlanta, and you got Stevie J and Jocelyn and old girl Mimi's little love triangle in the mix. And I was like, damn, everybody got a love triangle going on. You know what I'm saying? That's how long this shit lasted. Deadass. So, like I said, I was watching reality TV while also dealing with this reality in my reality. And he was being messy as fuck. Like, honey, he said this. You don't need to be with him. You don't need to be with him either. Anyway, I was being messy, and like I said, it ended because both of them, actually before it ended, let's talk about before it ended. Before it ended, I was able to get both of them together. And for one weekend, we just chilled, all three of us together, because I knew, like, yo, y'all are so similar. We could all get along. Like, we all, you know what I'm saying? We were all heavy into Christianity at the time, all this, that, and thus. We loved to, like, help the youth, all of that. We had similarities in that aspect, as well as, you know, we love singing, we love music, all the things. So I was like, let's come together. You know what I'm saying? Let's come together. And we came together for one weekend. It was very peaceful, no drama. At the time, Fruit was completely over. This is after she had divorced Peter Guns for the second time. She was completely over him. And Bubbles was engaged to Peter Guns, but didn't want to tell Fruit at the time or whatever. So everything was cool. Everything was copacetic. Whatever, that weekend was a vibe. Good vibe. That let me know right then, like, hey girl, you can do this. You can bring females together even if they beefing over a man. You got this. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was feeling myself a little bit. Shouldn't have been, but I was feeling myself. And then after that weekend, I don't recall what happened specifically with Bubbles and Peter Guns, but something happened. And I was like, fuck that. I'm telling Fruit. So I told Fruit that, hey, they engaged to be married. You know what I'm saying? Whoop de whoop, wop de wop. And Fruit was like, oh, really? Well, he just asked could he come to my apartment. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh, so he's still on that fuck shit. Okay, Bubbles. You know what I'm saying? I was telling her all this, that, and this. And of course, that ended what was at one weekend apiece. That ended that whole shit. Crushed it all down. I was like, fuck. My big ass mouth. Hindsight, I'm like, my big ass mouth fucked it up. In the midst of it, I was thinking I was doing the right thing. Because you're not finna play my friends. We're not finna do that. Or at least, whatever. So, yeah. After that happened, then them two, Bubbles married Peter Guns. And I was there, I was present. Because at the time I was still involved with DJ, and DJ was against it all. By that time he washed his hands with the whole situation. Fuck that, fuck them, fuck what they got going on type shit. And I was like, no, that's your brother. Like, I'll go as a representative of you and all this, that, and this. Like, I got you. He's like, no, you ain't gotta go. Fuck that. But I went. I did her makeup. I went and all that other stuff. And literally, that was probably the last time for me. I was done with it. She had a child. We may have hung out once after that. Matter of fact, it is a picture of me and her at a church event together. And she has her daughter. So we hung out one time after that for sure. But the friendship relationship, it was never the same after they got married. It was never the same. It was never the same leading up to the marriage. But once it was official, it was just like, I wash my hands. Which is crazy. It is crazy. But that was when I was just like, I've had enough. I've had enough, and I need to tend to this fuck shit over here in my relationship, okay? Because the whole time I'm sitting up here telling DJ, hey, you need to talk to your brother. You need to talk some sense into him, thinking like, I got the good brother. The whole time I got the biggest narcissist. Oh my God. That's a whole other story. We're going to get to it later. But yeah, so that happened. They got married, all this, that, and this, and everything you would have thought just vanished, went away. But it didn't. Somewhere in this little situation, Bubbles, I was about to call it something else, Bubbles reached out to Fruit. They went and had a conversation at Panera Bread. And whatever the conversation was, Bubbles wasn't going to come and tell me at all. She just blocked me from everything. Everything under the sun. Just block, 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 block. Fruit came to me and we had a conversation about it. And I acknowledged where I was wrong. That was my first time being like called out for my shit. And I was just like, you're right. I'm wrong. I'm wrong for putting y'all against each other. I'm wrong for even stirring the pot, for telling this one, that one, Like, I acknowledged where I was wrong, and I even apologized to Fruit. I've apologized to her because that happened in that moment. I apologized then, and then life happened, and I started to actually have other friendships with other women and go through some other stuff of my own. And I was like, oh, let me reach out to her and apologize again, because, honey, if after what I just went through, baby, I need to apologize to you two more times. You know what I'm saying? So I reached out again and apologized to her again. Fruit, that is. And I've only apologized to her because she's the only one who actually came to me. And like I said in the beginning, Fruit is like, let's get this thing let's resolve the issue. You know what I'm saying? She's not running away from confrontation at all. So for that, I was just like, yo, let's talk. And even to this day, like, she's on my social media, all of that stuff. I reach out to her, send her, you know what I'm saying? We reach out to each other. We have a good rapport. We're not friends. I would not say that. But we are two people who used to be friends who still have love for each other. Still have love and respect for each other. It's no beef. It's no animosity. Like, if I ever did anything pertaining to women empowerment, or it was an event pertaining to women empowerment, authors, anything like that, she would be the first person I call. Seriously. Because that's my dog. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I wouldn't classify us as friends, but that's my dog. Bubbles, we have not spoke since she moved. We really haven't spoke before she moved, to be real with you. And I think the last time we spoke, she came to my job and she told me that DJ had a baby on the way. Or DJ had just had the baby. All right, DJ's, yeah. Something about the baby. That's the last time me and her seen each other face to face, anything. And when she dropped that on me, in my brain, I was like, okay, that's your get back for all the shit I did to you. That's fine. You can have that, sweetie. That's how I looked at it. I internalized it like that. I've never spoke to her a day after that. And I'm cool with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's no beef from my end at all. It's just, you block me, stand on that. We don't have to ever talk. We don't have to, you know what I'm saying? It's no beef, but it is one of those, yeah, this is my story. I was a bad friend to you. I get that. I own my shit. We're not cool, and that's cool. You know what I'm saying? And when I say we're not cool, it's like we're not friends, and that's fine. We have, you know, and that situation, like I say all the time when I tell the situation to anybody or the story to anybody, I'm like, everything happened for a reason. I had to be a badass friend in order to be the woman I am now, who values their friends, who knows exactly what I do not want from friends and what I, you know, have those boundaries. Because after that situation with that group of ladies, I had another situation with a whole nother group of ladies that helped me to realize I don't want male-centered women around me. I can't. It makes me sick. I can't tolerate that. I learned so much. I can't deal with the friends who literally will, because I had one friend that was male centered. After that situation where I was a horrible friend, my bad, I'm stuttering over my words. After that situation where I was a horrible friend, I had two more friends. One was male centered. Well, both were male centered. One was male centered to the point where anytime we go out, like, she was trying to text somebody to figure out who she was gonna fuck afterwards and type shit. I don't. You can't even have a conversation without dick being involved, without, you know, that's not for me. It's not for me. It's more out here than trying to chase a man and looking for love, or looking to give love to somebody that you ain't gave that love to yourself, looking to receive love from somebody and you ain't giving it to yourself. I ain't got time. Then I had another friend who would only call me when she was going through shit. And because of me being a bad friend, I felt like I had to be there for her. You know what I'm saying? It was that guilt from being a bad friend, that shame from being a bad friend, that I felt like, oh, I gotta be there for her. I gotta be there for my friends. I gotta be a loyal friend. You know what I'm saying? So because I had that playing in the background and didn't really do any healing from that situation, I ended up subjecting myself to, like I said, a male-centered woman, as well as another male-centered woman that only wanted to talk to me when she was going through stuff. Now, when everything was cool and it was events and let's go to Outer Banks, let's do this, let's do that, I would never get a call. But when she was going through, whether it be financial stuff with a boyfriend, stuff with her mama, it didn't matter, on the phone with me. So, I say, once again, like I said at the beginning, everything happens to you for a reason. You know what I'm saying? Me being a badass friend and then me turning around and having that experience of being used, so to speak, or however you want to look at it. All of that taught me, like, what I want and what I don't want. You know what I'm saying? What I will tolerate, what I won't tolerate. How to be a good friend. You know what I'm saying? And after, I literally had to go on a whole little healing journey to figure out, like, yo, I wasn't a good friend. Then I overcompensated in my next group of friends. And now I am where I am, where it's like, I know what I want. I actually, my girl, My girl Shay, okay, she came through, and I ain't gonna say I just met her. I met her last year, but she came through in my life and showed me like, girl, you had friend PTSD. I didn't even know that shit was a thing. She was like, you had friend PTSD because you've been my friend. We've been friends. And for me, I didn't want to even acknowledge her as a friend. And we would do friend things. We hang out, we go paint, and we go do all the things. But it was my brain would not register her as a friend because I was so blocked off. And it wasn't until me and her were talking and we were talking about our friend PTSD moments, like things that happened in the past that we were bad friends or we had bad friends, whatever the case may be. We were talking about it. She's like, I think we might have friendship PTSD. I was like, you know what, friend? I think we do. But we getting over it together. You know what I'm saying? So once again, that's just me wanting to share the story to let y'all know, like, yeah, you can have been a horrible person in the past, all this, that, and this. It's all in you choosing to heal from that, learn from that, and move the fuck forward. If you don't like who you are, you don't like, you know what I'm saying, something you've done, heal from that. Forgive yourself for that. Release that. Let it go and do better. You know what I'm saying? Just do better. That's it. That's all. That's, you know what I'm saying, the root of why I wanted to share the time where I was a horrible, messy ass bitch of a friend. I wanted to share that with y'all so y'all know, like, hey, your past doesn't define you unless you allow it to. You know what I'm saying? That guilt and that shame that you're walking around with because of that decision you made in that friendship, that decision you made in that relationship, that career decision, whatever, let it go. And treat it like it's a learning lesson because that's what the fuck it is. It was sent down to happen for a reason so you could learn the lesson and move the fuck forward. All right? Now, I hope y'all have a great rest of y'all's week. And I will see y'all next time. Next story time. I think it's actually going to be me talking about that relationship. Because like I said, him just hitting me up in my DMs was just like, oh, you... young, dumb, full of cum, and just thinking I was all the way in love, like thinking this man was gonna be my husband, child. We gonna talk about it. We gonna talk about all the red flags, all of it. So y'all stay tuned. I will see y'all next time.